人はいつかそれに名をつけた
Please, don't look at me that way, Sid. It feels like you're looking into a casket. Smile your wonderful smile, my love. You can't really expect me to smile. Not now. How could you bring yourself to smile, Eileen, when you know that there's not much time left? That's the big question, isn't it? A question without an answer. I think smiling is a much better alternative to crying my eyes out. I won't need to drink as much tea either. Eileen, could you ever forgive me? I know I've been a neglectful, terrible father. My life has always been unbalanced, always tilting towards work. Why are you apologizing? That's not like you at all, honey. If only I had shouldered the burden of rearing our children together, like real parents should, none of this would have ever happened. If only I had been around them more, been around you more. But I never dreamt that my negligence would cause me to lose my wife and my daughter. All because of my work. I ain't any different from that son of a bitch father of mine. Don't say that, Sid. Don't you dare have any regrets for the choices we made for ourselves, our children, and our family. I want to see the man of ambition that I fell in love with. What good is a man of ambition if he can't even save the people important to him? God damn it. Tell me the truth, Sid. Before Ruin passed away, did she have some sort of sickness? It's something that I've been asking myself to this day. If it's the sickness that robbed me of my only daughter, then I start wondering what life would have been like if she wasn't sick. I can't say for sure, darling, but the daughter we raised, no matter what defects she had, was our one and only daughter. Sometimes I wonder what life would have been like if I could have saved her from herself in time, if I could have given her the emotions that she was missing. Would she still be the daughter that we knew? Nobody knows. I mean, what really happens to a person when they have absolutely no way of expressing their emotions. If emotions are an outlet for us all to vent and steam our concerns into a bottomless oblivion, then does it always stop us from taking one step off the ledge? I don't think I'll ever know. And neither will I. Sid, I have a question that needs an honest answer. Did you hate our daughter? Hate is a pretty strong word. I personally never speak the damn word aloud, but I don't know, my dear. I just feel remorseful and shattered inside. If I really had to put it to words, I think I might have hated her. I can never reconcile what she's done to our family, because it's left me broken. I don't think I could ever begrudge the girl for the rest of my days, though. She's left a gap in my heart that can never be filled up again. It's your turn to fess up, my dear. In all honesty, I felt nothing at first. Absolutely nothing. But I was in shock. I was numbed from my head to toes because a rain cloud grew and swelled within my heart. I had so many thoughts running through my mind, but I couldn't utter a single word. I was a prisoner, trapped within the stifling cloud of depression. I felt absolutely nothing. When I wanted so badly to feel something. But with time, that cloud slowly lifted and dispersed, leaving me with a visceral, jolting remainder of the horrible reality that I had been returned to. It made me begin to question why I was even alive. The resentment I felt towards myself from the day forward was an incredible force to be reckoned with, because I wanted nothing more than to die. Every waking moment in this pathetic excuse of a body I was born into was sheer suffering. I think I was punishing myself for not being able to save my wretched daughter. I'm a horrible mother, Sid. I've come to accept that fact, but strangely enough, despite all the suffering I've endured from Ruin's cold and callous acts, I don't think I could ever hate her. There was so much I wanted to tell her. There was so much I wanted to ask of her. I wanted to know how she saw things, if life always appeared grey and dull to her, and what her final thoughts were. I want to beg for her forgiveness, for failing in my duties as a mother, for being blind to her plight, for everything. Oh, wretched, sweet daughter of mine. Could you ever find it in your heart to forgive your failure of a mother? I will be with you soon, my sweet Ruin. Stop. Stop it, Eileen. There's absolutely nothing for you to apologize for. You've been a fine mother to our children, and you know it, god damn it. Don't lie for me anymore, Sid. You've done absolutely nothing wrong. You practically raised our children single-handedly. If anyone's to beg for forgiveness, it's my sorry ass. I failed my test as a mother by letting my lifelong sickness keep me from my beautiful children. This, all, is retribution for my failures. I suppose things started falling apart after Ruin was placed under house arrest. For years, I took a passive stance and did nothing but hope that she'd be reformed. From the bottom of my heart, I prayed that our family would be whole again. But somehow, I always knew those prayers would go unanswered. The fissure would never be healed, and our family would always remain fractured. And before I knew it, that cloud of doubt started swelling and swelling within me again. I made a decision to keep my concerns unspoken, without confronting the reality of it all. I didn't want to be the one to worsen the fracture, not when the illusion of harmony showed me everything that I ever wanted it in a family. It would have destroyed us. Nothing made me happier than the status quo, so I suppressed the urge to reveal the truth. And the very existence of the truth is what compelled me to pursue the portrait of my harmonious illusion. The portrait of a happy, perfect, and whole family. I was selfish. I was so deluded by the fantasy that I completely turned away from reality. None of that matters now, Eileen. It's all in the past. You did everything in your power to keep this family from falling apart, and no matter what you say, I will always accept that fact as the one and only truth. But I saw Ruin's cross-section. I knew, Sid. Even Rudo tried to force me to face the truth. Oh wow, Sid. Wow. Rudo must have eavesdropping here, dumb. That's quite a really sad story. It must be really hurt for you, Rudo. He told me what Ruin did to that poor cat. He warned me that she was up to no good again. But I didn't want to believe a single word he said. I brushed my sweet son's words off, like they meant nothing to me. I did what I could to keep living a lie. And instead, I pushed my responsibilities as a mother onto him. Rudolph can watch after her. Yes, why not let the big brother watch after his little sister? I entrusted all of my misguided hopes in Rudolph's greatest strength. I let his compassion become Ruin's caretaker. And all the while, my son... Uh-oh, he's crying. That must have been hurt your feelings. I'm actually quite sad right now. It kind of like cracks my voice. It was really sad story I ever seen so far. Was suffering in silence, even more than I was. Suffering from being forced to care for Ruin when there was never any hope for her. And you did it all for me. All for me, Sid. Our son. Eileen. Why didn't I believe my boy? My beautiful boy. Sid, promise me that you'll never leave Rudolph alone. Promise me. He'll never be alone. That I can promise you. Take care of yourself and look out for Rudolph. Leave the laboratory when you can, for our son's sake. I couldn't bear the thought of our son being left to fend for himself without his father. Rudolph, we'll never know the meaning of loneliness, my dear. I promise you. Oh my god, I feel like I'm starting to tear out right now. I hope you guys will have the same tears as well. The very first coherent memory I have was a yearning to escape from solitude. This solitude, otherwise known as the outer pole, and the frustration from the fact that it was a physically impossible feat to achieve. Frustration. Yes, I could categorize it as such. It didn't sit well with me. That much is for certain. Unfortunately for me, the inability to express the irate emotion was crippling. I often observed people living their bright, monochromatic lives with a purpose, day by day. However, I had all the purpose of an empty clamshell. What's this? Must be a dead bird or something? Oh no. The first time I felt a breach in this barrier, when it came to emotional expression, was during my childhood, when I saw a bird lying down on a dirt path one day. Yep, I knew it was a dead bird. How it came to be on this path was inconsequential, but its neck was strained in a dull shade of crimson, and it appeared to be convulsing severely, as if it were struggling to take flight once more. Eventually, this bird stopped its futile struggle altogether. Suddenly, something from within the depths of my chest attempted to emerge, as if aroused into a frenzy by the very sight of the carcass. The surrounding onlookers all voiced their pity for the creature, but I voiced the exact opposite. For the first time, I had garnered the most bizarre collection of glances, glares, and stares. The sight of the carcass left me with a keen interest, and I hoped to one day witness a similar sight of death. Only in death could I express myself freely. In hindsight, perhaps, I also pitied the poor bird. But at the time, I failed to identify what I was feeling, as I could never categorize nor distinguish between the emotions that scenes of death elicited. I began to closely observe the reactions that my actions had solicited, and in time, I became well versed in the art of mimicking seemingly normal human responses. But there was a period of my childhood when I was forced to be confined within my own residence. I had only a few familiar faces to observe then. the faces of my mother and my brother. Oh, that must be Ruin's narrator. My mother was always in poor health, but when she spoke, I could always expect a smile, in addition to amplified pitch. Regardless of her poor health, she stood resolute and unwavering in the face of reality. My mother brought what I believed was warmth into my life. At the time, I didn't know how to properly reciprocate her warmth. To me, my mother's unconditional care and compassion felt nothing more than unsolicited, unwarranted, and utterly alien. I didn't seek to fully comprehend a mother's love for her children. And then there was my brother, Rudo, who spoke with such a soft tone, but would immediately override its effect with his scornful scowl. And it was well deserved. For the grand majority of our childhood, I took an active role in traumatizing him. I tried to push him to the edge time and time again, but he would always rebound and redouble his efforts to work against my own. While my accomplishments garnered much praise in Lab 9, overshadowing everything Rudo had done, he had the audacity to assert his non-existent presence daily. He accomplished what he could, with little recognition for his contributions, and was constantly subjected to comparisons to our father. He was pressured by his peers to succeed the ingenuity and innovative mind of Sid Sevitz, which was an insurmountable task in itself for Rudo. But I suppose he never really had a choice in the matter. As the only son and heir to Sevitz Enterprise, Rudo had to scale the cliff towards a realm above our own. Compelled to succeed our father, he made his blind, harrowing ascent upwards in search of the seat of power that he hoped, in vain, would someday be his to sit upon. While Rudo devoted himself to his impossible endeavor, I found an indescribable delight at the very thought of chipping away at his footing. Upon reflection, I could have been expressing my envy towards him. Envy at his every attempt to meet and exceed the expectations of his peers. Envy at the very fact that he could openly express himself when my own capabilities were limited to mimicry. Envy at his attempts, even now, to innovate and invigorate as our father once did. There was nothing that I wanted more than to watch Rudo fail in his insurmountable endeavors, because my envy had reached its breaking point. Looking back now, I could honestly admit that I harbored a grievous misconception, upon which I based my mimicry of emotion. I learned that emotions could never truly be defined, and that even I was not impervious to manipulation by then. I am responsible for killing my mother, and I am at fault for destroying my father's focus. But most of all, I am responsible for tormenting and warping my brother into a cold and callous man that he is today. Father, that's a pretty cool half. Why, Father? Why did you resurrect me? Why did you imprison me in this shell? Why didn't you leave me to roam free for all eternity? I may never know the answers to those questions, but I suspect this may be penance for my past actions. And if I could somehow undo the damage that I inflicted upon so many people in my youth, then perhaps some manifestation of redemption awaits. There were several instances of well-deserved reprimands to be had. There were, without a doubt, some instances that could only be resolved with my death. And when I remember my past deeds, and all the pain I inflicted, I reconcile that I should not have been born at all. What in the world am I? Who does this silhouette belong to? Is my father the one who integrated the silhouette directly into my memory, truly Sid Savitz? Or is it the man whom I had unconsciously sought to destroy all those years ago? Is it my brother Rudo Savitz? Whose memories are these? Are they mine? Or are they ruins? To be in possession of that abhorrent, contemptuous ruined Savitz may very well be a curse. She should not have been born into this world. But were it not for her, I wouldn't exist today. My fate is tied to ruins. But who am I right now? Am I Sarah? If I am Sarah, then are these memories somehow temporary additions from ruin? No memories can be shared between two completely different entities. So what does that make Sarah? What am I? Who am I? Am I Sarah? Or am I ruin? I have absolutely no clue. But if one thing is for certain, I would desire that Master Rudo be free of the constant torment of my paradoxical existence. If he truly does find my very existence contemptuous, then I would gladly... Would I die for him? Would I allow myself to be dismantled and disposed for him? What? Why am I second-guessing myself? Why can't I commit to a determined action? If only I could have seen Miss Selfine and Miss Ritana once more. If only I could have bid them both farewell. Sarah. Yes? Your dismantlement will be determined by a collective vote tomorrow. As you have no other tasks to carry out for the remainder of the day, you may return to Laboratory 9. I advise you to go directly there. I've already spoken to Vathel and the others, all whom are awaiting your arrival. You will do as they command. Understood. Master Rudo, thank you for utilizing my services to the fullest capacity. Oh, what's going on? Something's happening. Sarah, did I not previously forbid you from smiling? I have failed to abide by your command. On several occasions, I made an active effort to withhold my emotions. Oh my god. She's smiling right now. But I have no means to reinforce it, as I lack the privilege of doing so. If you couldn't abide by my command, then why did you follow through with it before? How could you bring yourself to abide by my illogical, even preposterous command, without a single word of complaint? Because that is what you desired of me. Sarah, why are you smiling? Because, Master Rudo, I'm feeling happy. Happy? Yes, happy. After all these years, when I've done nothing but be a cause of concern, I'll finally be able to give you what you've always wanted. And what is it that I've always wanted? Relief, because after tomorrow, I will never have the potential to become ruined. I tried so hard to leave here, in an attempt to escape my fate, my impending dismantlement, my impending death. But if I had taken such a selfish approach and disobeyed your commands, you would have shouldered the responsibility for my actions. If my services are no longer necessitated, then my continued existence serves no purpose. I have accepted my fate, Master Rudo. If you can feel happiness, you not feel fear as well? Do you not fear death? I do feel fear. I fear what tomorrow brings. I fear death, so much that I could run away this very moment. But what I fear, more than death itself, is that my continued existence would only serve to be a source of eternal torment for you. For me? Yes, Master Rudo. For you. You were always so caring and compassionate. But everything became an afterthought once you were forced to observe Ruin's every action. But you did it out of concern, because you wanted to love your sister so very much. She couldn't understand your actions then, but I'm certain that she can now. Sarah, how much do you remember? How many of Ruin's memories have you inherited? I do not know. But ever since my activation, the fragments of Ruin's memories have slowly regained their context. But whether these memories are truly Ruin's, or whether they are my own, I cannot say. Tell me something, Sarah. What in the world are you? I do not know. I really wish I could answer that question myself. But if one thing is for certain, that can be said aloud. Uh-oh, she's crying. That was really tearful. Rudo, I'm just a girl that admires you as my brother. Huh? I don't know why. I just want to know what that means. God damn it. Rudo, we'll never know the meaning of loneliness, my dear. I promise you, he will never be alone. Sid Sevitz. Oh my god, that is so sad. You goddamn son of a bitch! Ruin. Rudo! Did you just call me Ruin? Is it okay? Is it okay if I could call you brother again? Call me whatever you want. You mean it? Brother, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I'm crying right now. It's so sad. It really hurts my feeling. I'm so sorry for everything. Oh brother, it's all rushing back to me now, in a vivid array of formulas that I've seen countless times. A concept that I could never solve as a child. This nostalgic sensation of contractions in my heart that I've longed to express to you. No matter how hard I tried though, my destructive tendency oppressed these very emotions that I had struggled to voice to the surface. I could never reconcile those feelings, not while envy and loathing overwhelmed all other sensations. But all along, the solution to solving these seemingly infinite formulas was never as complicated as it seemed. Perhaps it was too simple for my mind to comprehend. But I suppose there's no one single way of defining it. Not when it already had so many names. After Ruin died, several regrets stacked up in my mind. I wished I never gave birth to her. Oh wow, that was not nice. I wished that I never moved to Kadia, that I never applied to work at Sevitz Enterprise. I wished that I never met you, and that I just stayed in my hometown and succeeded my family's business. Most of all, I wished that I had never fallen in love with your ambition. those were the sort of regrets that overwhelmed my mind. But truth be told, I wouldn't have done it any differently. I would have never known the joy of loving you, becoming a mother, and raising our children. I wouldn't have traded any of those experiences for a second chance. I love you all too much to give any of that up, but just thinking about it brings me to tears. I couldn't even think about living a life without my dear daughter. Regardless of what she did to me, I still would have chosen to bring my one and only daughter into this world. Eileen, there was never a dull moment in my life. From the moment I met you, Sid Savage, nothing made me feel more fulfilled than becoming your wife, becoming your mother, giving birth to Rudolph. And even though the world as we know it may never forgive her for everything she's done, I was glad to have given birth to Ruin. I'm glad that she was able to experience life for as long as she did. Eileen, I love you, Sid Savage. Thank you for everything. Eileen, take care of yourself and Rudolph for me. Oh my god. Well guys, I hope this really... Oh my gosh. That was really heartbroken. Oh my god. Such a really heartbroken story ever.